All right, everybody, and we should be live. By the way, we did have another stream that we did earlier today, but this one we're coming from the Basedment bunker, and streaming about things like shipping and nonsense in shipping. So, be right back. I just want to make sure that everything is running correctly. So, in the meantime, we started a few minutes early here. We were scheduled to start at 9:15, but we started a little bit early here, just to ensure that things were working the way we wanted them to. Social media has been acting very strangely lately. I don't know if you've noticed, but there have been issues with Facebook comments. So I've been noticing that. What about you? Let us know in the comments if you're seeing issues with Facebook comments. I'm unable to see my own comments, and I'm seeing responses and not my own comments, and it's just very bizarre. It seems like there's some additional layers of censorship that have been applied recently. Like, I don't know what's up with it. And in fact, I can't find this stream on our own YouTube channel. So that's interesting. I mean, definitely leave us a comment if you're able to do that. I'm going to see if I can bring up comments through OBS. So yeah, I can't even check and see if the live stream is legit, because I look at live on our own channel and the main channel, and I don't see it there. So OBS claims that it's streaming. It is creating broadcasts, but I don't see the video. So figure that one out. Good luck, non-YouTube content creators. I wish you luck, because it is the internet is so broken. It's so broken that I can't even put it into like terms. Completely broken would be a good term. My goodness. I mean, everything works besides what you would like to work, because everything is powered by AI. Whoa, so this video's live right now, but it's not showing up as a live stream. It's just showing as a video with no views, because reasons. It's very strange, folks, very strange. Okay, there we go. Now I see the video is live. So fantastic. It only took 3 minutes to appear on our own stream. Yeah, it's very nice, Abe. Make sure you press the share button. I'm not sure that that's going to have any effect on anything. But the reason that I'm ranting is because it's about shipping. So the reason that your costs are going to go up massively and very soon is because for every second that the Gulf of Hormuz stays closed effectively, there are issues, major issues. China gets 40% of its oil from there. India gets 20% of its oil through there. The Arab nations, the Gulf states, they get their food and water through the Gulf of Hormuz. Like, there are a lot of issues. And what's been happening, folks, because I do watch some channels besides stuff about science. You know, I watch videos, all kinds of videos. I just make videos about space weather because that's my own wheelhouse. But, man, the Gulf of Hormuz is currently under attack. And you may think it's drones or missiles, and it's even a worse piece of crap than that. What is affecting the Gulf of Hormuz are unmanned surface vessels. Yeah, unmanned surface vessels. So radio-controlled mines are essentially what these things are. And you know, there's a strategic capacity for where they detonate and things, and it's very uncool, because, you know, the essentially the embargo that's going on in the Strait of Hormuz is it's against civilian vessels. You know what I mean? So you got these piece of crap radio-controlled boats, pieces of crap sailing around and then exploding. It sucks. So I mean, I don't know how much sailing you've done, but I come from a fairly high level seafaring gene pool as well as family, and I feel very much at home on the high seas. I feel disappointed when my sea legs go away, as I like spending the entire day plus on the ocean, not in sight of land. I think it's fun. But the idea of unmanned surface vessels sailing around and then exploding kind of pisses me off. So, this is a scenario where those who have the radio controls, they're going to experience some technical difficulties since their transmissions can be tracked, and they're probably being triangulated all around. It's unmanned surface vessels are like sinking, badly damaging, making a casualty out of important, billion-dollar tankers and so on. I'm not like an expert on shipping. I don't know the different classes of ship, but they're really expensive. The insurance policies are really expensive, and they're insured for a lot of money. And it's not just the value of the ship, folks. There's a lot more that figures in than the value of the ship and the value of the cargo, because human lives are worth way more than that. These people are paid a lot of money. So wrongful death lawsuits would amount to a lot of money. So there are huge insurance policies that pay for, lost future income that they would get making a crazy amount of money doing something as dangerous as shipping in the first place. So it's damaging the world economy even more. And so if you'd like higher insurance premiums, you should definitely... yes, the war in Iran. My insurance premiums are not high enough yet. I'd like to have higher insurance premiums. Because guess what? You're going to have them. And guess what? Insurance company stocks are going to be affected. I don't know exactly how, but they'll be affected. So watch for that. Don't be surprised if you see bailouts. I mean, we've already been promised bailouts because a certain government who triggered the closing of the Gulf of Hormuz in the first place has stated that we're going to guarantee shipping, except nobody wants to sail through the Gulf of Hormuz. Would you like to sail through the Gulf of Hormuz? Would that be fun for you? Will it be fun for you, looking out the whole time so that when an unmanned surface vessel is coming up? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Are you going to hit it with an oar? Like, seriously, it's a problem. So, you ever seen a giant tanker or like a cargo container ship? They're kind of big and kind of expensive, and they have a bunch of people on board. It's pretty serious. So, so don't just expect oil. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It can't stay closed. That's all there is to it. So, I mean, but as long as it does, havoc will be played on equity prices. Literally, the price of anything can just be any amount now. So if you've enjoyed the price inflation that you've already been seeing in the U.S., I hope you really like it. Because nothing causes everything to go up in price more quickly than an increase in diesel, followed by an increase in gas prices. So I don't know if you've looked at the diesel prices, over the past 2 weeks, but it's been less than optimal. Oil hit $119 per barrel yesterday. I don't know what's going on with it today because I'm not like sitting here looking at CNBC, but it's they're going to crack open the strategic oil reserves. Like to say that the Gulf of Hormuz being effectively closed, like it's not technically closed. You can try your luck. Like, would you like to try to sail through there? Like, you want to go fishing in the Strait of Hormuz right now, folks? Does that sound fun? I'll bet there are some great groupers out there. That's going to be some expensive fish. I'll just say that. Like, I mean, so yeah, cracking open the strategic oil reserves is the most temporary of fixes. So you just have to ask yourself, how, like, can there be enough of an armistice of some sort, a treaty like the Treaty of Hormuz, where shipping is just allowed to go through the Strait of Hormuz? I mean, you can't really stop it. Like, stopping it is as unsustainable as the world is when it's stopped. You can't just be like, oh, we've just cut off a major shipping route for the entire planet's food and energy. Let me just put it in these terms. Your town, wherever you live, if your town runs out of gas, where like in a 10-mile radius, 0 gas stations have any gas, it can turn into chaos in as little as 48 hours. 48 hours is typically the amount of time that it takes for that place to turn into chaos when the gas stations run out of gas. We're not talking about like running out of oil and food and gas and oil and gas and food and how about water all at the same time. Like you can keep the power grid on, but if that stuff all happens at the same time, you have the Walking Dead in your neighborhood. Like you may want to consider the territory with the local warlord and the implications of that, right? Can you maybe you're the future warlord's colonel? maybe you're supposed to be in charge of 1,000 of his Branch Davidians. Hopefully he's not a cult leader, right? If you've got a warlord that you have to listen to, hopefully he's not a cult leader, right? Diesel prices outrageous, makes my job harder. Yeah, what's your job, Abe Barker? I mean, I want to know because, like, look, let me tell a tariff story, first of all. Here's a tariff story for you, all right? I was affected less than 1 week last year after tariffs went into effect. I was affected massively by it. I mean, it caused me to spend, I don't know, 8 times as much. It caused me to spend about 6 times as much. I spent over 5 times as much to get the same thing. Like, I mean, and guess what? It led me down a whole crazy path of stuff that I didn't want to go down, and which ultimately was probably not beneficial in the first place, because it led to a crazy path of last year wearing my employer's logo on my chest and back all year for all my rides, except for basically for all my rides, more or less. So, I rode thousands and thousands of miles, advertising for this brand, which eventually ripped me off as well. So I got screwed by the brand that was on the jersey because they only paid for half of what they agreed to pay. And I got screwed by paying way more money for the jerseys in the first place. I needed to advertise SNN, right? So like here's our logo, right? It's, you know, the sun with the SNN logo on top of it. And that needed to be on jerseys because when I'm writing to represent my own brands and then hand people business cards, right? It's pretty sweet. You got the jersey. You're like, here, visit the YouTube channel at a later time and press subscribe. It's because you want to advertise from the grassroots level as well as from the international level, right? So while we make friends in Australia and people buy our merch in Australia, you know, I've got friends in South Africa and all over the world. Cyprus, like all over the place. Syria. So anyway, Belarus is probably the best example. You've got a global economy. You can't apply a tariff and expect a $30,000 printer to appear in the U.S. as a result of it. You can't make the economy not a global economy. And not only that, you can't bring manufacturing back to the U.S. No matter how much you'd like to bring manufacturing back to the U.S., you can't, nor should you. Maybe 3D printing. All right? Like, I would consider opening a 3D printing business. That may be a thing in the next year or two. That's one of the many ideas. Like, I'd rather sell and market 3D printing than honestly starting a business. But like, it's a very important piece of new technology. But I digress. What the hell was I even talking about? I went on a massive tangent there. But tariffs affected me right away. So the jerseys that I was going to get printed, I couldn't get printed at all. I couldn't get them. So in the same way that Shimano, you know, the bicycle parts manufacturer, they can't just build a factory in the U.S. overnight. That's not a thing. Nor should they build it. So here's why the U.S. will not and should not bring manufacturing back. Stop saying it. It's idiotic. It's idiotic. Things should be made where it's the most efficient to make the things. That's the way it's supposed to work. So you make the thing at the place where it's efficient to make the thing. That keeps the thing at the highest value per unit of energy cost to make the thing. The industrialized world doesn't exist everywhere. There are places that are not industrialized. All right? There are people who live in places that do not, that they have dirt floors in their homes. By the way, we are seeing an ad play right now, so if you are experiencing an ad, just take a moment to press the like button and subscribe. There are people that have dirt floors and no electricity right now and no plumbing. They're a fourth world nation. There are places like that, lots of them. And those areas need that infrastructure. Adjacent to those areas, there are appropriate places to do certain things with the natural resources, build manufacturing places, because the people in the industrializing part of the world, like, this is how the Industrial Revolution happens. The U.S. is in the post-information age, folks. So if you blinked and you missed the information age, I'm terribly sorry, but it's long over. The information age is complete. You are in the post-information age now. Whatever that is, I don't know. I think it's the disinformation age, because I've never seen more fucking cult membership and fraud visited upon everybody simultaneously. Like, never before has there been so much fraud and nonsense. I mean, when has fraud been easily measurable in trillions of dollars? Because we certainly have that today. I mean, prove me wrong that fraud isn't in the realm of trillions of dollars. It definitely is. It's like, if your fraud is measured in billions nowadays, it's just insignificant. Don't worry about the billions in fraud. No big deal. We got to be in the trillions of fraud realm for it to even create a blip on the fucking radar. So, I mean, like, look, I didn't understand economics until about 2004 or so. When I was a day trader in the late 90s and early 2000s, I didn't know economics. I understood the equity markets, and I understood like the effect that the Fed had on the equities markets, and stocks. Stocks are super easy to evaluate, folks. Let me give you a little tidbit on how to evaluate stocks. Right? People will say, "Oh, you got to look at the daily volume. You got to look at the PE ratio. You got to look at the market cap. You got to look at the, whatever the ticker symbol even figures into it, right?" So when you're evaluating a stock or the chart, oh, what about the 1 year performance? What about the 6 month? What about the 3 month? What about the 5 year performance? What about it outperformed the S&P, it outperformed the Dow, like whatever. Okay, yeah, buzzword after buzzword, sure. But here's the thing, folks. If I'd never heard of a company before, because I used to trade tech stocks, that was my specialty. When the NASDAQ bubble burst, my portfolio was up 359%. So the market went down 90%, mine went up 359%. So there's that. But I digress. When I'm researching a company that I never heard of before, here's what I do. I check its sector, first of all, because like if Walmart crashes on Target's bad news, then Walmart is a value buy on the semi-long term for that day, in my opinion. Keep in mind, this is not financial advice. This is for novelty purposes only. So, but what I would do is, if I never heard of a company, let's say there's a big crash today in the chip sector, let's say, right? So I look up the chip sector companies, and the biggest loser in the chip sector, I look them up, and there's bad news. And the bad news is that the CEO of the company is under investigation by the SEC for fraud. Securities fraud? Because if you say stuff, especially if you say untrue things to manipulate the stock price, that's a crime. That's an actual crime. There's a government entity called the Securities and Exchanges Commission who's supposed to investigate that. When you have circular money that's going from one company to the other one and then back to this one and then back to this one and back to this one and back to this one over and over again, it's not real. So what's currently priced into the AI bubble, like I haven't been really following the equities markets, but I was jumping up and down about the AI bubble for months and months because it's clear that it's mismarketing. At the very worst, it's ignoramuses who don't know what the word intelligence means, because AI is not intelligent and has no capacity to be intelligent. It's a series of on-off switches, and it has zero capacity to be intelligent. I mean, we're talking about LLMs. That's what everybody's invested in. Oh, LLMs. We're going to get to artificial general intelligence through LLMs. That's fraud. I mean, no coder in our right mind is going to say, oh, LLMs can just become intelligent. How? Through emergent behavior? Like, what are you talking about? They don't even have the capacity for intelligence. Like, man, oh man. I mean, like, there are trillions of dollars of fraud. That's my point. So the claims, the power requirements, the water requirements, the chip requirements, the memory requirements, the building permit requirements, it's all steeped in nonsense. Most of these things are phony promises that are never going to happen. The AI data centers in space with 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer solar arrays, one of them is going to go up this year. How? In what pipe dream is that going to happen? It's like Elon Musk. Wait, what's his name? Elon Husk? That guy, that guy who just lies and lies for a decade, and some sycophantic cultists are still somehow on board with it. That guy, Elon Husk. Elon Husk. He's like a husk of a person. He looks exactly like a human. That guy, he said he's going to put 4 kilometer solar arrays in space. Literally a 4 by 4 kilometer square solar array with a data center in the center. He's gonna put 3 of those up in the next 3 years. So I don't know. It's maybe those fictional data centers will be piloting his fictional fully self-crashing vehicles. Those Teslas, the ones that cause me to fill with like a feeling of dread. I get a feeling of dread when I see a Tesla. When I see a parked Tesla, I'm like, ooh, that's not so bad. When I see one moving anywhere, I go, oh God, it might be fully self-crashing. Like I don't know. I just expect it to crash into me. I'm just like, it probably can't see me. I mean, it doesn't really change things very much, because when you're exposed to moving cars, it's smart to pretend like none of them see you, right? Because then it does a thing. It does a thing that could make our viewers less likely to experience the road rage of being hit by a car. Don't get hit by a car, folks. I've done it, and you don't want to. No. Put cameras on your bikes. Get a 360 camera and just use that thing every time you ride. It's so awesome in the first place. I mean, the software is sensational. And we'll have one on the channel shortly. It's there are a number of different options, because I really should have a medallion cam as well as a 360 camera, either for on the front or the back of the bike. It doesn't really matter. Either one is similarly cool for different reasons. But yeah, it's just pretend that the cars can't see you, right? Because then if it's nighttime, you're going to typically be able to see them because they have their lights on, hopefully. Man, so many people drive around Pennsylvania with no lights on in the rain and in construction zones, and it's a ticketable offense. At Pennsylvania, the rules are if your windshield's wet, you're running your windshield wipers. If you're running your windshield wipers, your lights should be on. So, I mean, I've seen gray cars drive on the highway at 60 plus miles per hour through banks of pea soup level fog, where you could barely see the front of your vehicle. You could barely see a white line on the road. These dudes are driving 60 miles an hour around Ravine, Pennsylvania in a gray vehicle with the lights off. And like, it was the daytime, but I think it was real early in the morning or something. And I mean, I wasn't driving a semi, but man, oh man, it's I mean, you have to have some concept of self-awareness in life, right? Self-awareness is and thanks for leaving comments, a barbarian 1111. Self-awareness equals self-preservation. So, you may have noticed, like, some of your friends and family, maybe your colleagues, maybe somebody at your local running club, or like at your fitness club or whatever, you may find that there are people out there that are incredibly self-unaware. They don't know what they look like, what they sound like, how they come off, their information or lack thereof, their their ability to simply read or know what the definition of a term is, like their literacy, are they able to read at like a 3rd grade level? Are they able to read at a 6th grade level? Maybe, I don't know, maybe college level? That might be nice. I mean, how many people do you know that like graduated high school and now have you wondering, how did they do that? It's amazing. Yeah, there were some kids in the high school that were not exactly geniuses back in the I guess I'll date myself. I graduated in the 1990s. And so there were some kids, I would say especially in, class of 93 was pretty freaking retarded. Class of 92 wasn't so bad. Class of 93 was pretty, I think they had more cobalt in their water that year or something. And listen, if you had cobalt in your water between the ages of 18 months and age 25, you might have a valid reason why you are a dummy. I'm just saying cobalt. I don't know if that's particularly bad, but there's all kinds of stuff in the groundwater, right? If you just dig a well and you never run any tests to find out what's in the groundwater and you don't filter it or something, you may be drinking pretty screwed up water. Like we had high sulfur water when I moved, but it's not bad for you actually. It smelled like sulfur, but it wasn't bad for you. So so anyway, yeah, the Gulf of Hormuz, folks, it's an issue and it's not going away. It has to get resolved. If it doesn't get resolved, more and more wrenches are going to go into more and more gears, and people aren't going to tolerate it. So it's not a thing that can be put off forever. Like, the Gulf of Hormuz has to open. It's not a negotiation. There might be negotiations involving whether or not it opens, but it's not a matter of if it'll open. It's a matter of when it opens. Because let's just say a lot of people are pretty fucking sick of shitty radio-controlled boats blowing up very important things, endangering people's lives, sinking ships, losing cargo, etc. If that doesn't piss you off, if all kinds of unnecessary military action doesn't piss you off as well, what the hell? What are you pissed off at? Like, seriously. If you're outside looking at a fucking cloud, you're looking at a natural cirrus cloud and saying, I'm mad at that because that's man-made, you are fucked. That is like get some self-awareness. If you're mad at a cloud, you are fucked. If you're mad at a persistent contrail that came from a plane, you are fucked. Because you see, thanks for leaving a comment, Retro Doomsday. Yes, I'm in the basement. The basement. So, anyway. Yeah, the Strait of Hormuz is going to open. I can guarantee, you can bet the farm on it, folks. You can definitely bet the farm on it. Strait of Hormuz will open, and it's hopefully we'll have less seaborne casualties, less ships having massive gaping holes blown in them from shitty radio-controlled boats. Shitty radio-controlled boats. Like, if you own a radio-controlled boat, please do not strap explosives to it. If that's your plan, you might be an asshole. And if you actually do that, then like the same guys, just like the guys who are mad at natural clouds because they think mankind controls the weather, peak arrogance and ignorance, you are fucked. Do not put explosives on a boat. I apologize if you're like military personnel or if you're in charge of shipping explosives legally. Yeah, unmanned surface vessels. That's what they're called, unmanned surface vessels. So they could be shitty drones. They could be shitty, a drone boat is the thing, right? Like your Navy should definitely have them, and your Navy should definitely not employ them as offensive weapons. It's evil. But like so many things associated with warfare, it's evil. So there's that. Like, all of it is pure evil? So there's that. I mean, it's... One man. One series of shitty economic decisions. One pissed off planet. Later today on Earth. Like, this is not making for a good movie. Now, my friend Eugene, you can check out his YouTube channel. It's Eugene the Philosopher. He's a particle physicist from Belarus. He lives in Minsk. And he said that he felt a great disturbance in the force today. So, I mean, look, I don't know what that could mean. That could mean that Putin passed a kidney stone. Or it could mean that the Death Star has destroyed Alderaan. So we're not sure. We're still waiting. He received a psychic message or something. I don't know exactly what happened. But, yes, he said he felt like a feeling of dread. So, do you find that today's news cycle is extremely low on news? I certainly do. So let me peruse some headlines here from a neutral news source. I'll leave it unnamed so that I can comment on it without any apparent bias. But I'm trying to view an unbiased news source, which they're not a sponsor of the channel, so I can't endorse them. We can only endorse smashomash.com. That's our own business, so cheers. So, in other news about Hormuz, Iran's new supreme leader vows to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz in his first statement. So his first statement is exactly in contrast to what I've stated. So he's saying he's going to keep blocking it, and mostly everybody in the world is saying, you're not. Like, there are a lot of interests involved. A lot of people, literally billions of people, the entire planet's population is affected by this one seaway. And this is known about, okay? This is a known threat, that this is a thing that could happen. The Gulf of Hormuz can be shut down. And the implications are China can't get 40% of its oil. India can't get 20% of its oil. Food doesn't get to the Gulf states. Like, it's a very short fuse. So it's definitely a thing to wait out. Here's some more non-investment advice. Buy low and sell high. Okay? But also, like I said, if I do research on a company's stock, I'm thinking about buying a stock from an actual company. I'm not talking about meme coins or some speculative shit like that. I'm talking about actual companies. If I do research on it and, you're like, oh, what should he check? The stock chart? The PE ratio? What should he check? What should he check? Well, if it's down for no apparent reason, he should check the news. And if he sees a pattern of fraud from the CEO of that company, a pattern of fraud, which is the intentional misrepresentation of material facts, by the way. Being a licensed insurance agent, I spend ample amounts of time trying to prevent fraud. So, so there's that. But if I find a pattern of fraud for the CEO of the company, I don't look at the PE ratio or the market cap or the performance or the chart or anything. I don't look at anything. I don't buy the stock, period. That's what I do. Again, for novelty purposes only, folks, because don't forget to, buy low and sell high. That's what you're supposed to do. I've heard. I don't have an investing license. I was a private fund manager. So, in fact, I'm still a private fund manager. But so anyway, so that's some news about Hormuz. Is that Iran's new Ayatollah, aka Supreme Leader, which in that country is a religious leader, vows to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz. So apparently somebody's been building shitty radio-controlled boats, and then, well, you know the rest. I imagine it has a lot of people very fucking pissed off. Does it have you very fucking pissed off? Let us know in the comments if so. And by the way, I do see the comments here. I have them. So thanks to everybody who's left one as I continue this rant. Turns out a foreign hacker breached the FBI's Epstein files in 2023. The real question is, did they have write privileges? I doubt it. They probably just had read privileges. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Wow. Apparently J.D. Vance, who looks like a deer in the headlights at all times, he balances his war stance ahead of a 2028 bid. So I guess maybe he's a peacenik. I don't know. I'm just going to look at the headline and comment like most Americans do without even reading 1 second of the article. Like I think attention spans are now a quarter of a second. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's pretty easy to break your chain of thought because your smartphone is so smart and so AI powered that when you're on the socials, it's very social. Pardon my sarcasm. But socials are so broken. Like our Facebook Facebook comments have been messed up for a solid week now. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. But like, I don't know if it's a sorting problem or if like the app is just broken, where if I like use the web page, I don't know. But comments are suppressed, vanishing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. So, should I answer this phone call? I'm going to answer this phone call. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Dan. This is Lauren with Oracle NetSuite. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, hey. Doing well. How are you?
Hey. Doing good. Thanks for asking. Yeah, so I was just giving you a call. Saw that you had requested that free product tour. So wanted to get it set up for you if you have a couple minutes.
Can I call you back? I'm actually doing a live stream, but I'll call you back.
Yes.
Can I use the same number?
Yes, this is the best number to reach me at.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll call you in a bit.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, looking at working with Oracle NetSuite. So that's one of the many things on the horizon. We've started a band as well, and there's all kinds of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't talk a lot about on the channel. So I'll talk about that a little bit on this stream. So we started a band called Simulcome. It's a 3-piece, and it's got songs in the works. We intend to play 80% original metal and 20% our renditions of certain of our favorite popular songs. And yeah, we bought a website called GoProBike.com. That's another one. That's going to have to do with things like cycling coaching and perhaps things like Sherpa services. So that's something coming to GoProBike.com. You can check out the web page. It's not really built out yet, but there is something there. And let's see what else. So yeah, there's a band. There's a new website, and so because you can expect to see more and more bike tube content on the channel, because when the sun cuts back to solar minimum, it's not really that exciting, right? There's not a lot to cover. The space weather videos, they're going to shrink, and the bike tube videos are going to grow for a couple of years because there's a bunch of leveraging that's going to happen. We're also looking to get into the real estate investment trust business. That's something that's coming because I work with multiple real estate agents. By the way, if you want your advertising on the cycling jerseys for 2026, hit me up. You can find a message to get at me on the homepage at smashomash.com. And yeah, so a bunch of like behind the scenes things going on. There's also 2 ultra endurance events that we're going to be hosting this year. One of them is actually my event. It's the 24 hours of Bob Rodale, which will take place on the solstice. So it'll be 12 noon on June 20th to 12 noon on June 21st. If memory serves, the solstice is at 10:39 a.m. on June 21st this year. So the race will be wrapping up. The final hour and a half of the race will be underway there. So a 24-hour ultra endurance event. My plan is to only ride for 18 hours. So if I'm able to do that, it'll be quite a bit of mileage. But I plan to do 2 3-hour breaks, hopefully involving sleeping. But who knows? And yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. I'll have at least 2 bikes there because you want to have one as a backup, first of all, if something goes wrong. And yeah, so it's the first event on the calendar is called Monkey Knife Fight. If you want to contribute to that, you can do that as well. Just hit me up on the Discord channel, or you can send a text via the number on smashomash.com. So there's a number right there. That's the VoIP line. That's our business phone number. Yeah, so it's Monkey Knife Fight is the first event of the year. That's not a race. It's just a charity ride. It looks a lot like a race, but it's a charity ride, and it's a gravel event. So if you like gravel cycling, come to Browningsville on April 11th. You should register before that so that your registration kit is all ready. But I think you can register day of if you like. Weather is often an issue. Last year there was snow on the roads for this event, and that was the first time I ever did it. So it's unlikely that it'll be as harsh a conditions this year as last year, but that's the first event on the calendar. And actually, we're just about to get to order some jerseys printed. So I thought I had a local sponsor to put on there who would stay on the race kit all year, or at least the training kit all year. But I don't know if he's trying to pull out or something. He's trying to get like a lower price. But basically, what it comes down to is you can have 10% of the jersey for $1,000. That's the rate. So, you get to be on the kit all year because these products are very durable. And if you want your business advertised on there, you can take up a considerable amount of space any place on the front or back. There is some capacity to put things on sleeves, but we're getting skin suits made this year because I need multiple skin suits for the track racing that I'll be doing. And yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. The track bike is right over here. It's not built up yet, but it's not state of the art either. That blue frame there that you see by the door, that is my former teammate and friend Scott Butler's 1972 Schwinn Paramount. So that is a vintage bike to say the least. It's older than me. So I'm going to build that up. I'm going to get like a carbon wheel set for it and stuff. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to apply a fresh paint facing, not a full coating, but a facing of a special blue pearlescent, like holographic looking paint that I bought. And it's going to look freaking crazy under the lights. Hopefully at least once or twice under the Friday night lights. But yeah, it's I can put down some pretty sick times. So I'm trying to get my wattage up to 1600 watts this year. So if you'd like to do the math on that, I currently weigh about 167 pounds. That's pretty many watts for that amount of mass. Pretty many watts per kilogram. For all of you real cyclist performance nerds out there that understand what that means. So yeah, all right, what do we have here? Make sure to save room for light with your love. Okay. Yeah, I've definitely saved room for light with my love. Thanks for that. Now, back to the news. I'm going to see if I see any more news headlines. Oh, and back to J.D. Vance briefly. That guy is creepy, and not only is he creepy, oh man, here's a great story that we got to cover, but why does J.D. Vance look so frightened all the time? Does he look frightened to you, or is it just my imagination? That guy looks like a deer in the headlights if I've ever seen one. I mean, he looks like he's like frozen. Like, he knows whenever there's a camera on him or something. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that guy. Can anybody tell me in the chat if J.D. Vance is a certifiable textbook weirdo, or if it's just my imagination? But that guy creeps me out. I do not like J.D. Vance. I mean, I don't know what he has to say. I don't follow any of this crap. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch CNN. I don't even watch CNBC. But yeah, J.D. Vance, he's going to run for president. Oh wow. I mean, it seems like Trump's coattails are a lot like a thong, a crotchless thong. Is that Trump's coattails? Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody access the ghost of Arnold Palmer and determine if Donald Trump's coattails are a crotchless thong. I want to know in the comments. J.D. Vance. Man, oh man, that is a guy that I would not want to be. Holy shit. Like, if there's anybody you could trade places with in the world, not to pick. I mean, talk about painting yourself into a corner. Like, Scam Altman and Milan Husk have painted themselves into corners as well. Those are people that, like, sycophants think that they would like to trade places with those lunatics. And, oh my gosh, you so don't. Did you know that astronomers have just witnessed the birth of a magnetar for the first time? That's a 6-hour-old news story, folks. On yesterday, there's been a magnetar that just formed, that we just got the light from its formation. Of course, it was quite a long time ago when it actually formed. But it's about a 25 solar mass magnetar. So that's pretty sweet. It's SN 2024 AFAV. SN 2024 AFAV. So that supernoval remnant looks like it may have progressed to the magnetar stage. That's pretty interesting indeed. Not every day that it's discovered. The study confirms Dan Kaysen's magnetar theory and shows general relativity explains a supernova's chirp. Joseph Farah explains more with the Vera C. Rubin Observatory. Interesting. All right, what do we got? Is this space.com? Yeah, NASA's own website. For years, the magnetar idea has felt like a theorist's magic trick. Let's see what they actually measured here. The chirp of the supernova got their attention, I guess. Because we have wide field sensors specifically for this to detect supernova activity. I'm just wondering where it's located. The collapse of the core of a massive star to a width of around 12 miles has another consequence. Just as an ice skater at the Winter Olympics draws in their arms to increase the spin speed, the rapid decrease in diameter of a neutron star speeds up its rotation. So, I mean, that's what a magnetar is. It's a rapidly rotating neutron star. And, you know, you could refer to it as a pulsar if you prefer. So yes, it's through analysis of supernova 2024 AFAV, and yeah. What had not been demonstrated was that a magnetar did in fact form in the middle of a supernova. Maybe that was the feeling of dread that Eugene was feeling. Hey Eugene, maybe supernova SN 2024 AFAV. Maybe that's what affected you. Maybe you felt the dread of the magnetic fields. I somehow doubt that. But I digress. By the way, if you're viewing an ad, thanks for tuning in via YouTube. Allow me to get the stream chat back on the screen because I can't see it while I'm viewing news on my device. We do still appear to be live, but let me reacquaint myself with the chat. Yeah, so thanks everybody who's tuned in. You know, it's a great day to rant about the Hormuz Strait. So yeah, I mean these unmanned surface vessels, they're gonna stop. They're one way or another. They're going to stop. They're gonna get you one way. Maybe next week they're going to vaporize those surface unmanned vessels. Yeah, shitty radio-controlled boats. Maybe I should just retitle this video "Shitty Radio-Controlled Boats," because that is what's going on. I mean, fuck those radio-controlled boats. Fuck them sideways with a porcupine shitting out a cactus with a scorpion standing on the spines. Fuck those boats. Unmanned surface vessels. Man, oh man. Who are the hacks that are building unmanned surface vessels right now? Oh my gosh. Somebody needs to find the launch point of said vessels. I mean, I wonder how big they are. I guess it only has to be the size of, like an oil drum size thing, right? That's pretty much as big as it would have to be, depending on what kind of shape charge. I mean, I guess if you put an RPG charge, it could be the size of an RPG charge and still blow a hole in a decent-sized ship. I don't know how much armor is on, a tanker, but geez. An RPG charge is a shape charge, so it'll go through a certain amount of full armor. And it'll put a nice divot in pretty much whatever. Well, maybe it's just a boon for the depleted uranium hulled boat market, right? So I'm sure somebody's out there with a depleted uranium plated hull. No, I guess not. It's a little bit too dense, too massive. It'd be like having a lead ship. Nobody's building any ships out of lead that I'm aware of. The good ship Lollipop. It's made of lead. And hopefully you're not going uphill on your bike like a lead anchor. So yeah, Let's see. What else can I rant about? Well, the weather sucks. It's cold and rainy, and it's getting colder as time goes on. Also, nothing works. So I don't know if you've noticed this, especially to our U.S. viewers. Hey, U.S. viewers, have you noticed that it seems like no business is able to do their own job? Have you noticed this? Does it seem like every business out there is able to accomplish about 5% of their actual job? Like whatever it happens to be. And like you have to do the other 95% of the work that you fucking pay them to do? Is that a thing? Because that's what I see. Like every single thing is a project. Simply paying a bill has become an absolute project. Like, have you found yourself like celebrating because you like got a password fixed or something? Like, have you had to call a 1-800 number and like be on hold for 45 minutes to like get your bank to do a thing or something? And then they say, I think it's done. And then it works, and then it I don't know. I don't know, man. I've never seen more broken everything than the second half of 2025 and the first half of 2026 so far. It's like the prices aren't just high, but you're paying for like stuff that's not even real. Like, I mean, this is one of the effects of tariffs, folks. Like literally, this is one of the effects of tariffs, because you get lower quality. Because if there is only one product, now I can charge you a lot for it and make it really cheap and shitty to where it doesn't even function as the product. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it almost makes you happy to see the CE labels. You know, have you ever seen the CE labels? It's like a little CE. That means it's certified in the EU as it'll function to do the thing that it's claimed to do, basically. So like if you buy a flashlight, it'll work as a flashlight. Yo, there's people buying stuff on Amazon where they're like, I want to buy this folder, right? And so they go on Amazon and they're like, wow, incredible, it's only $2.95. And they buy it and they get a photographic print of the folding lock blade. Like, this is a thing now. You have to watch out that you don't accidentally buy a photograph of the thing instead of the thing on Amazon. Now, Amazon is good with their returns policy. All right, like, I'm not trying to like talk badly about Amazon. They're actually a value chain partner. We have a storefront, and you know, it's like we use Amazon a lot. It's very useful for certain things and very bad for other things. Like, I don't know about where you're located, but we would have to be complete lunatics to use Amazon for any sort of grocery purchase. That like what they have like in terms of like grocery delivery is just ridiculous. Walmart grocery delivery is pretty good. It's not too bad. Of course, you don't get the option to like pick out the thing, right? So I don't know how you would do that. Like if I'm going to go buy a beef roast, you think I want their Walmart shopper to like pick out a beef roast for me? That would be complete insanity. But plus the prices suck because there's a local smaller grocery store that's much better that we use that I'm going to leave unnamed and not get YouTube people showing up at the grocery. But I mean, ultimately, even that isn't a solution because some stuff is best purchased at, like, you got to go to 3 or 4 places if you want to get the real value, and then it just takes forever. So you have to figure out, oh, is it a waste of gas to drive to the extra place because, you know, gas is now $4 a gallon or whatever it is. I mean, but yeah, man, tariffs affected me less than 1 week from going into effect, because the jersey that I was going to get, all right, Vistaprint used to make cycling jerseys, all right. I could have gotten one printed on Vistaprint for less than $55, and that includes the shipping. For one unit, that is cheap, really cheap. All right? You can't typically buy a plain cycling jersey for $50 unless it's like massively marked down. So I ordered one to see if it was any good, and it's okay. It's acceptable. It's not great. It's not what you'd call a high-end modern cycling jersey, but it's pretty good. It's not half bad. So anyway, but now you can't get them. That's why I can endorse it, because you can't get them. Go to Vistaprint.com and type in cycling jerseys. There's a women's and a men's. They're out of stock since April of last year, within days of the tariffs going into effect. I was like, oh man, I got to order this jersey right now because of the monkey knife fight. It's a very early event, but I want to represent the brands that I'm representing. So it led to this whole thing, and I ended up designing everything from the ground up. I designed the entire jersey design. It wasn't like from a template or something like that. I designed the whole thing, top to bottom, and it was an awesome looking jersey. But it cost me way more, and it cost me a lot of time, and it got things on the jersey that didn't belong there, and it got a company printing the jerseys that didn't belong there. And it got promises made that didn't get kept. And it got frauds getting exposed accidentally. Like, it caused a whole chain of shitty events. It would have been way better if I would have just ordered some jerseys from Vistaprint and not had all of the other fucking headaches. Because it is a pain in the ass. So tariffs personally screwed me over in 2025. And now my prices are going up because of a war that I also don't appreciate in Iran. So it's like, what do you expect? You expect me to be happy about it? I mean, look, if you've got a living leader and you believe nonsense, and that relationship between you and your leader and your belief in nonsense is harmful, congratulations, you're in a cult. So, I mean, let it sink in, folks. If you believe nonsense, it's harmful, and you got a living leader, you're in a cult. That's all you need. So, for example, in my opinion, the malinvestment in AI, especially to try to track down AGI through LLMs, is just that. Malinvestment. It's fraud to the tune of trillions of dollars. Because the people that make the code should know the capabilities of the code. And LLMs are a type of machine learning. This is why they aren't scalable in terms of their infrastructure requirements. The amount of hardware they need, the amount of software they need, the amount of lines of code they need, the amount of compute power they need, the amount of electricity they need, the amount of water they need, the amount of space they take up, and ultimately the cost of them. So it's like, everybody's like, I don't want a data center in my neighborhood because my power bills will go up. But no, don't worry. Trump has prevented all of that. Trump signed an executive order. Your power bill totally isn't going to go up. They just need all of the electricity in the whole world. Like, the shallowness and the lack of self-awareness and understanding of economics just really pisses me the hell off. And the Strait of Hormuz situation is just a perfect example for dummies that don't understand or refuse to affirm that it's a global economy. You can't cut off the U.S. from the rest of the world. The U.S. cannot produce all of the stuff that it needs. It just can't. So, like, what do you want me to say? It's not a thing. Like, it is not possible for the U.S. to produce all of the stuff that the U.S. needs. The U.S. should not only not bring manufacturing back, it should start adapting to the post-information age. Because the post-information age ain't going nowhere. It's here. When a new age shows up, you're either there or you're in the door to the dark side. All right? So take your pick. Take your pick. Would you like to close the door to the information age and be like, we're going to reindustrialize the U.S. in the post-information age? Is that what you think is a good idea? Because it's stupid, and it's not going to happen. Manufacturing's not coming back to the U.S. We're going to keep creating the intellectual capital in the U.S., and we're going to keep sending out shipping requirements to other places. Now, I may want to invest in some 3D printing. All right? Not kidding. 3D printing is a big deal. And it is a thing to do maybe in your backyard. I don't know. But 3D printing is a big deal. I just saw today a 3D printed optical lens. So it's very good. And creating things is intellectual capital. Just like producing videos is intellectual capital, because what makes this video a video is the writing. You see, I'm writing it right now. YouTube is attempting to transcribe it, and I'm speaking in such a way and using certain words that its voice to text is actually able to correctly, mostly transcribe what I say. Now, of course, it's not perfect, and there's really no excuse for that, because this pioneer in AI should have perfected voice-to-text technology over a decade ago, since Dragon perfected the technology by 1999. I could run my whole computer without touching a keyboard or mouse. Did not need to use a keyboard or mouse at all. The computer would run. I could do anything I wanted to. I could access apps, open them, press the play button on Winamp or whatever. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I could open Windows Media Player and Winamp at the same time and use them like a DJ and a crossfader. It worked perfectly. There's no excuse for voice-to-text software to have anything resembling a bug in it. And here's how to fix it, folks. It's very simple. If Google would understand this, your voice-to-text on your phone would work flawlessly all the time. It would even punctuate stuff the way that you want it punctuated. It'll even misspell words for you if you want to. If you have a local learning file and a local dictionary and punctuation key and special characters key and custom clipboard, that's what should be in your voice-to-text software, and it should work flawlessly. The reason Google's voice-to-text does not work for shit is because it has to talk to the internet. Press voice-to-text sometime when you have no internet access and see what happens. Can't connect to Google. It shouldn't have to connect to Google. It should be local compute. So, this idea that everything belongs in the cloud, this is some dinosaur-level boomer, Microsoft, outdated trash. When you have computers that are this powerful, storing a local dictionary and a local voice learning file based on the way you talk, your accent, the words that you use, the way you punctuate sentences, your phone should learn that intuitively with zero effort on your part. But it doesn't. And whose fault is that? Whose fault is it? It's Google's fault. And it's Apple's fault. And it's Microsoft's fault. They want everything to be on the cloud. It's just idiotic. It doesn't belong on the fucking cloud. Have you noticed how there's no save feature in Android operating systems? Android is the most common operating system in the world. Okay? Have you noticed how there's no save feature? Next time you take a fucking photograph with your Android junkware device, go into your photos or your files or whatever and click on the file and try to save it. Try to save it. But don't try too long because you'll be wasting your fucking time. Which, by the way, is what the algorithms are designed to do on purpose. These devices are not designed to make you more productive. They're literally designed for engagement, which means the more of your time they waste, the better they perform. I'm not kidding. The success of an app is measured in engagement. So the longer my face is in front of this camera, the more the app thinks it's successful. That's the logic of big tech companies. So think Twitter, Microsoft, Google, Meta, especially those four. I mean, those four are like the four horsemen of the fucking apocalypse at this point. Because the internet is like a road, folks. You either lead, follow, or get out of the way, because you're going to get run over otherwise. That is how the internet is. The internet is it's almost like an entity. It's not like artificial general intelligence, but it's a lot like an entity. And it's an entity that supersedes the power of even the companies that own the servers, right? Because everybody who runs a website has a certain vision for their website or their app or their whatever, and it has to work a certain way, or it's does damage to their brand. You know, like, this is like basic marketing shit. But things like marketing and branding and sales, that's all outdated stuff. As if that's ever going to be outdated. It's just ridiculous. Like, these are the fever dreams of crazy people who are so out of touch that they have billions of dollars and like they think they know what it's like in a Whole Foods or something. Like, how anybody listens to Scam Altman? Like, aren't charlatans supposed to look and sound confidently? What is up with these charlatans? Like, Milan Husk and Scam Altman, the grayest, weirdest, creepiest, like, fraud just sweats out of their pores. It's like you gotta follow what they say in the news every day, because Scam Altman and Milan Husk, those two, they just take fraud to a whole another $1 trillion plus level. What else do we have? LAX increases fees for Uber and Lyft. Who the hell gives a fuck about that? Oh no, the cost of taxi services is going to go up. Who gives a fuck? No, I mean, some people do use those services, but typically ones that don't live in urban areas don't give a shit about them. Most Americans have cars. And by the way, if you think cyclists don't drive cars, practically all cyclists are also motorists. This is the U.S. Don't think that people in the city are like everybody else. The city population is completely different than the non-city population. Like, I don't even say urban or rural. It's deeper than that. It's literally, the city is like a different universe, and then you get 5 miles outside of the city, and it's like you're in the U.S. I kid you not. Cities are like a freaking alien landscape, including Allentown. Small parts of it. Some parts are lovely. Some parts, less so. Just looking at news stories here. And we really do see a bunch of sort of irrelevant news stories. So this is what you often see, I think, when there is some big news that happened, but it hasn't broken yet. You see a bunch of stupid fucking news stories, like a guy stealing baseball cards. Who the hell cares about that? Why is that in the national news? ExxonMobil's going to move to Texas. You know, because it's a better tax haven for ExxonMobil. Oh, closed door testification. Closed door testimony from longtime Herbston accountant. You know, an accountant for that guy Herbston, the guy with the island where they, you know, gave the Herbstons to everybody that they could possibly give the Herbstons to. Longtime Herbston, that guy, Jeremy Herbstein. Anyway, one of his associates, his accountant, actually. Hopefully he's not a criminal accountant. But he testified behind closed doors for roughly 7 hours. Great. Should be interesting what Jeremy Herbstein's accountant had to say. It'll be interesting to see if he committed any accounting fraud in writing. Huh? Or admitted to committing accounting fraud in writing. Huh? Huh? Some accountants are more flippant than others. Some accountants are unwise. But some are overworked. But some are overpaid. But some are underpaid. But some are extremely ethical. But some are underemployed. But some only provide CFO services. But some only do taxes for free for their friends. I worked in the industry for a year. That's why I'm able to make all of these claims and assure you that they are valid. Also, I will be seeking a career as a cartoon villain. If you are a cartoon or movie producer, reach out to me because I will be your next cartoon villain. Otherwise, your soul may be cast into an ever-deepening and darkening abyss of doo-doo, diarrhea, and bad content on YouTube subscription feed. So press the subscribe button, folks, for God's sake. If you're new to the channel, press subscribe. RFK Jr. underwent rotator cuff surgery. Who the hell cares about that? Trump touts cutting drug prices, slams fellow Republican Massey during stop. Trump's talking about drug prices? On March 11th, he toured one of his cronies, Thermo Fisher Scientific, in suburban Cincinnati, promoting lower drug prices, and then attacked Representative Thomas Massey and endorsed challenger Ed Galrine for May 19th. Facing market volatility after military action, polls showed voter concerns revealed Americans were wary of Trump's economic handling before the war in Iran, with employers cutting 92,000 jobs in February and trimming 69,000 more. Yeah, do you see why people might not be that thrilled? We might have already been pissed off about the economy going back decades. So the additional strikes against the handling of the economy, there is a lot of strikes. You know, like when the TSA was formed back in 2002, and when the U.S. economy has never recovered from the September 11th attacks. Really, it's been just bubble after bubble of phony growth, no real technological advances, like just a bunch of crap. Like you could buy a smartphone in 1999. I remember when Samsung made one because they had a really freaky commercial that showed like like basically what a smartphone looks like today, you know, and it showed like a screen with like the phone buttons were just touch screen buttons. And I remember one of my friends at the time, who I thought was my friend, and I looked at each other and we're like, that's a creepy commercial, but that looks like a crazy nice phone. It probably cost, I think it cost like $800 back then, but yeah, it was, it was good. I mean, I had a smartphone, I had a smart flip phone, believe it or not. I had a Palm Trio 650. Palm Trio 6, no, it wasn't that. No, it was a Kyocera 700, no. It was a Kyocera something, but it was a Kyocera Palm phone. And it was like, it was really bulky. It kind of sucked. Like it was like almost as big as this tape measure. You know, it like unfolded. It was kind of shaped like a hockey puck. It was an awkward, heavy phone. It had like an extendable antenna, but it had the Palm OS built into it because I wanted a phone and a PDA, a personal digital assistant at the same time. And I was an insurance agent. I was making plenty of money at the time. My colleague heard me say it, and then he wanted to know if such a thing existed because he had a Palm Pilot, and sure enough it did. So I had no choice. When you're on a sales team like that and you'd say, I would so buy that thing, and then somebody says, here's the thing, it's like, damn it, it's $295. It was pretty good. It got great reception. It worked fantastic as a phone. It was loud. You know, as a phone, it was spectacular. But as a smartphone, like to use the internet or anything like with the PDA features, it was trash. It had an LCD screen, so it didn't have there was no like backlighting to it, I think. And I forget. It was a very the touch screen was only like the Palm Pad, I think, and it was designed to, I don't know. It had a stylus and stuff. It was kind of ridiculous. All right, other headlines here. Let's. I guess I should check the. Let me just check the finance market since this video is ostensibly about economics. But yeah, Hormuzian economics. That's we're beyond Austrian economics. We're beyond Keynesian economics. We're beyond Trumpian economics. We're now on Hormuzian economics. Hormuzian economics. Top stories in the U.S. Again, the new Ayatollah says he's going to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz, which will be met with considerable fury. So I don't know if he really said that, but if he really said that, that's a crazy, crazy thing to say. Like, talk about getting in front of a train. That dude stepped in front of the world's largest train. Like, literally, it might literally be the world's largest train in terms of shipping. I mean, I would imagine more goes through there than the Panama Canal, right? Probably way more. And of course, you can fit way more through. It's like 30 kilometers or something. You should be able to fit lots of big ships through there all the time, all day, every day. Not have them anchored on both sides of it, waiting to get through as food spoils and oil prices just go up and up. It's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. All right, what do we have? I want to look at financials. Come on, dudes. I thought it would have, like, I don't know. It doesn't know what I want to see. I'm just going to head to cnbc.com and just peruse the most general headlines. So if you want to follow along, please open your prayer book to cnbc.com. I may go to the markets page if I'm feeling adventurous, but at the moment, I'm just going to stick here on the main page. Let's see how it's affecting the stock market, shall we? Well, the Dow Jones is down 631 points, or 1.3%. to 46,785. The S&P is down 84 points, or 1.25%, to 6,690. And the Nasdaq is down 374 points to 22,341. Oil jumps. Yeah, I can't imagine why. So, the new Ayatollah of Iran says, Strait of Hormuz must remain closed as, quote, tool to pressure enemy and tool, end quote, Iran's new supreme leader says. Brent oil hits $100 after Iran's new supreme leader says Strait of Hormuz must remain closed. Yeah, it's almost like I had psychic powers. Maybe that was the backlash that Eugene felt. Maybe Eugene felt a sense of dread when the Ayatollah said, I'm going to keep sending shitty radio-controlled boats out in the Strait of Hormuz to blow up legit shipping. Great plan. Great plan. Way to dig a foxhole for yourself. More AI scandals like Anthropic's Claude, which would, quote, pollute the defense supply chain, says the Pentagon CTO, a government official that I probably wouldn't trust anyway. So that's fun. Isn't that fun? Cabinet departments, the most expensive portion of the government, like the DOD and Department of Homeland Security and the FBI and, well, the entire DOJ. Just wow. Just wow. Like, yeah, I mean, this is what I've been noticing with businesses. What I've been noticing is that they're able to do about 5% of their job. I've got to do the other 95% of their job. And then if they have AI, then the AI does about 2% of their job. So at that point, you got to do 98%. You probably won't be able to even have an interaction with the company because the AI will break down, and you'll be like, "What am I doing here? What am I doing here? What am I doing?" So yeah, there's that. And yeah, I guess that's about it. That was some quality rants there. But yeah, expect gas prices to, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait it out. I'm just gonna not drive and see what happens, because the Strait of Hormuz ain't going to stay closed, folks. It ain't going to stay closed. Like, there's going to be an international coalition that's going to go out there and freaking police the surface. I mean, how many guys with shotguns does it take to take down one of these shitty radio-controlled boats with explosives on it? I mean, oh my gosh, it's so rage-inspiring. And by the way, imagine what it's like shooting at an unmanned boat, trying to take it down so it doesn't take you down. That is a demoralizing scenario indeed. Like, engaging in a dogfight against a drone pilot, like an AI-powered plane in a dogfight. I mean, that's a demoralizing fight, isn't it? You can't even shoot anybody down. You might get killed. You might get shot down. Yeah, that sounds fun, right? Unmanned surface vessels. Yeah, it's hunting season, folks. It's hunting season. So put on your blaze orange. Let's designate the color blaze orange as the color for the hunters of the surface vessels, those shitty unmanned boats that are floating around in the Gulf with, explosives on them. Like, let's make orange the official color. I'll bet the boats are gray, or like they're probably blue and gray camouflage painted or something. Who the hell knows? What a freaking disaster. Like, unmanned surface vessels. Like, can you believe that? Unmanned surface vessels just going out there and sinking or doing significant damage to capital ships and causing them to be, who knows? Like, some of them get towed. Like, a gaping wound in the side of your ship does not for a good voyage make. Like, and it's these are basically innocent blue-collar workers. They're paid a lot of money to be on these boats, but nonetheless, it's like they have a very difficult job. Shipping, it's kind of important. Ask Norfolk Southern if you don't believe me. Ask Maersk, right? So yeah, that's dude. Get out from in front of that train, Ayatollah. I'll call you Ayatollah if you get out of the way of the train. I don't know. Do we have a standoff where it's like either open the Strait of Hormuz or the bombs keep coming down? Because if that's the scenario, then I don't know. I have a feeling some additional folks are going to get involved really soon. It's like I said, it takes 48 hours for things to devolve to the Walking Dead. So, if all your local gas stations around where you're located run out of gas, you may want to run out of town within 48 hours, because it could devolve into chaos depending on what your town is like, the population density, like what the people are like, the socioeconomic status, the time of year figures into this, the geography, the topography, the waterways, the roadways. Like, it can turn into a disaster real quick when your town runs out of gas, because even the people who have generators, if they can't fill the generators, guess what's going to happen? They might have an extra couple of days, but then they're going to run out of gas. And yeah, it's so yeah, like the fuse on Hormuz is very short. And if yous think I'm wrong, definitely tell me in the comments. But I'm definitely not wrong. So there's that, and that's where I'll close out. I'm going to go back to the video that I was watching. See our community posts for that. There was an endorsement. So yeah. And one last thing. Make a YouTube channel. Create your own YouTube channel. All right? Do it today, because YouTube is the future in many ways. All right? It's part of the intellectual capital of the world. So, like creating content, there is something that you do, something that you think, something that you know or like to say, or some skill that you have, or something that people want to see on YouTube. So start a channel. Maybe we'll even help you out if you're doing something cool that we endorse, or something that relates to our content, or something like that. And yeah, so do it today. Do it today. Like, there's no time like the present, folks. If you're putting a thing off, tomorrow is not certain, right? If you can do a thing now that you're going to do, please do the thing right away. Like, if you can do the thing, do the thing. Please. It makes for good content. It makes for happier people. It makes for interesting stuff happen. It causes like new businesses to form. It causes introspection. It builds your character. It builds the economy. It creates new commerce. It does all kinds of cool things. You can just go do stuff, and you can make videos about it, and you can even get paid for it. I think you only need like 1,000 subs or something like that. So, and you can become an ad vehicle, right? You can like endorse the products that you use on your videos. Like, maybe we ought to try to get Razer as a sponsor, right? That would be a pretty good sponsor. Like, the sky's the limit, folks. If you can do it, and you will do it, like right away. What are you putting it off for? Do the thing. It might be a lot easier than you think. It's like fitness programs, folks. Most of the time, when I have one of those days when I go, I don't feel like doing the thing, it's too hard, it's too cold, it's too rainy, it's too whatever, almost every time as soon as I start doing the thing, I built it up to feel harder in my brain than it actually is in reality. It's usually not that bad. I mean, you go out in the cold, if you have the right gear, you're going to be snug as a bug in a rug, baby. So anyway, do the thing, start the channel, press the subscribe button if you're new to the YouTube channel, press like, tell your friends and foes about us. Thanks for leaving a comment, StratoTanker8373. Cheers, glad you like it, and maybe we'll see you on the bike sometime soon. Soon-to-be cartoon villain, signing off, and until next time, may that solar wind be at your back. And may that Gulf of Hormuz, that Strait of Hormuz, be open rapidly. Ayatollah, stop standing in front of the train. You're not going to stop.